All right, One Pride Nation. 48 hours since the Detroit Lions lost to the Los Angeles Rams 41-34. So that means it's time to talk about the defense. And in a game where Matthew Stafford threw for 368 yards and 2 touchdowns with 1 interception, you would think that I would be very down on the secondary. But after a rewatch and some stat checks, I'm not as upset at the secondary as you might think. So let's talk about it. First, in looking at the secondary, they did have 7 passes defended, and the average separation between receiver and DB was 2.8 yards. That's actually the 8th best this weekend. So the secondary wasn't quite as bad as it looked. And believe me, watching the game live, I thought they looked terrible, especially DJ Reed. I felt like he was just getting beat left and right. That wasn't actually the case on rewatch. But the problem is that they were on islands so often that even if they play well, every other snap, getting beat 12 times by Puka Nacua looks terrible on the stat sheet. So what was different this week than last week? Well, part of the problem was that the Lions weren't able to stop the run early. So they went back to their beloved 4-eye with their heavy sets. Aleem McNeil was in and kind of playing that 4-eye role on the edge. They went away from the pass rushers that worked so well against Dallas because they wanted to stop the run. But they didn't stop the run. In fact, a big part of the reason why I think the defense looked so bad was that Kyren Williams was able to average 5.2 yards a carry, and Blake Corum was even better at 6.5 yards per carry. They could not stop the run, and so they invested more in stopping the run, and that left their DBs completely on an island man-to-man against receivers that they were fairly close to in coverage and tight ends, but who were making some great contested catches. And that's a credit to them. Additionally, the linebacking core felt like it had one of its worst games. There wasn't some great run fits from the linebacking core. In fact, the best run-stopping grade against the LA Rams was DJ Reed. In fact, 4 of the top 5 run-stopping grades were DBs. That's a problem, especially for a team that loves to play man-to-man. What I would have liked to see is a better switch from Kelvin Sheppard. If you're going to put more emphasis on stopping the run, then play zone behind it and let your DBs get some help. But I want to know what you thought, Lions fans. What did you see, and what do you think of our secondary as we go through these next 3 weeks as must-win games? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.